Good morning. This is Steve Mallet in the beautiful sunny Hamilton, Waikato, coming to you from No Barriers Personal Training in my lounge or living room if you're overseas. In North America, that's what they call it. If you're locked down like we are in New Zealand, just hope everybody's well and everybody's staying safe. Their families are well. And also, if you're in quarantine, same thing. What I wanted to do today was go through a program for low intensity workout that you can do at home without any equipment. If anything, maybe some soup cans if you've got them, but nothing that requires any equipment. That's easy to do. Low intensity right now would be really important. As I think I've stated before, is the heightened fight for flight right now, the defense mechanism in our body. With what we're going through, the unknown, it's on a high. It's on a real high. So the worst thing you can do if you're a new exerciser or someone with chronic pain or something like that is start doing a high intensity program. So jumping jacks and all that sort of stuff are just going to bring on that fight for flight. Body will defend itself. Then you're in pain, and then we've got a real problem, which will probably lead to an injury. So I wanted to go through a program that you can do 2 to 3 times a week on your own, in your own home, and go through variables of things that could be triggering pain or injury within that exercise just by changing the movement and changing the pattern of the exercise. So I won't talk too long. So please let me know where you're watching from. It's really good to know where everybody is from, and then you can engage a bit better after the fact. Answer any questions. I can try and answer them afterwards. That would be great. I'll hang around a bit longer and ask some questions, answer the questions you asked. There's no such thing as a dumb question. We'll endeavour to answer as many as we can, and don't be shy. Like I said, just let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching from the other side of the world. How you going? This is New Zealand. This is us. We're on lockdown for a month, just so you know. But I think we're in pretty good hands over here. Anyway, so without further ado, we'll go into the warm-up period. Now, probably a real simple way you can warm up, get that blood flow to the muscles from the heart is actually just getting in the shower for 5 minutes. You may not even have to walk down the road. That's the type of clientele that we work with here. So, but if you can, a 5 minutes walk down the road would be enough to get that blood flow. That's really, really important. So we don't, we have put ourselves at risk for an injury. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go through some warm-ups, and within those warm-ups, we'll go through, like I said, some variables that could develop. So different ways of doing things. Now, I do have some little critters walking around here because we've got some rescue cats here. So if they start mucking around, that's all that is. And I do have a 3-year-old daughter. Hopefully she won't interrupt me, but you never know. She's pretty good. All right, so the first thing I want to do is go through what we call Y and a U. I'll take my glasses off. It's a lot better. Now, a lot of people struggle to get their arms above their head, okay, and with shoulder injuries and so forth and neck issues. So within this today, we want to keep our reps really low, because if our reps are too high, once again, we've got that fight for fight clicking in, we've got pain. So repetitions are quite low today, and that's what I would recommend you do when you're doing it on your own. Okay, so fight for the Y's and U's is what I like to call it. Put our shoulders up like so. What we call that is protraction of the shoulders. We go into retraction. Bring the arms around. Go up and above. Retraction. Come around the front. Once again. I'll try and show that from the side. Shoulders up, shoulders down, round the front. Okay, so what we're doing there is we've got those neck muscles that we call the upper traps. They go to the base of the skull, and they cause a lot of problems in our mid back, can even cause problems in the lower back. A lot of people who are in heightened stress and anxiety, their shoulders are automatically going to come up like that. Okay, so we're trying to turn those off. And those big muscles in the back there, on the side, they're called latissimus dorsi. We want to get those going and switch those upper neck muscles off. Okay, so that's what that exercise is for. If you've had a shoulder injury, if you've had neck problems, we do just like 2 or 3, just to get that motion in there, just to switch those traps off. Okay, really, really important. No more than that, because we don't want to get into that fight for flight. Okay, the next one, what we're going to do, it's going to look a bit silly, but if you've got kids, you're going to see them doing it, and there's a reason why they're doing it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to bring my right shoulder, up towards my head. I'm going to throw my right hip over, and I'm going to reach down and breathe out. And just find, you'll feel that hamstring stretch a little bit, so just go to where you can go. And even before that, shoulder up, bit of breathing, so forth. Do that from the side, with the left side, shoulder up. Bring that camera down just a little bit so you can see it a bit better. Then once again, your shoulder up. Now what you're going to get there, a lot of people have a real shortened rib space to the pelvis. That area in through there is shortened. So what this is going to do is actually, it's going to lengthen that space. And that's part of the reason why children, you'll see them when they're dancing, they're doing stuff like this. They're doing without even thinking about it. They're lengthening that rib space. It's really, really important. We see a lot of shortened rib spaces, and we try to correct that because all that stuff's important. Okay, next one we're going to do. We're going to get those glutes going. So I'm just going to shift the camera over here. You see the wall there. Hopefully you can see that. I'll do the other leg a little bit lower. Just bear with me because I'm in my own lounge here, so we've had to really boogie things up a bit. Okay, so with the gluteus, you could have a hamstring firing before the gluteus. So we've got to be wary of that, because what's going to happen there, if our hamstring's firing before our bum, then we're going to get an overloading of that lumbar spine. So we just want to do like 3 to 5 of these, because if we start doing too much and you've got that hamstring contracting first, you're going to get pain in your lower back. All right, so I'll just go through that motion. It's really, really short. Standing up, little motion, no more than about 5 degrees. Really, really important that you keep your hips square, because you're trying to put the glutes on. If you drop off to one side and you keep doing that, the brain's going to follow that pattern and your glutes are not going to be on at all. All right, so just a little movement of about 5 degrees, about 5 repetitions. Once again, back you go. Now what I do is I turn my foot in a little bit too. And what that does is it gets that deeper glute medius, we like to call it. Okay, so that's the warm up there. That's the warm up part. Now we're going to shift right into that actual workout. And like I said, it's low intensity. That's what we're about today. Not as to say that we're not able to do high intensity with our clients, because we can. I said, just bear with me. Okay, just let me know where you're watching from once again. Right, so the first one. You see my mat there. I'll bring it out a bit further. So what's going to happen here is you're going to lie on your side, bring your upper body forward a little bit. So you're in what we call hip extension. Now what's going to happen here is I'm going to put my hand on my hip. I'm just going to lift that up just a little bit. Really, really small motion. What you'll see a lot of people do, and not that it's wrong or anything, they're coming way up and they're putting their hip into rotation. I want to get into that deep gluteus, so I just want to do a little motion there, keep that nice and straight and square, like so. Real small motion. You'll be surprised how much you feel that. This one here is pretty safe for pretty much anybody, so we can go into 10 to 15 reps, and sometimes even beyond that. So the big thing with that is not rotate that hip, keep it nice and straight. Smaller motion is always going to win. And I've had people who were competing doing this in bodybuilding and their glutes weren't working at all. They do this and it's like, whoa, wow. I can feel that straight away. Now, some of our clients don't have that ability to get on the floor. Use a bed. Use whatever you can get onto. That's what it's designed for. We're going to keep you off the floor. If we need to, we'll bring you onto a bed or we'll get you standing up. We have many clients that cannot get off the floor, get up and down, up and down, up and down. So this is what this is designed for, okay? All right, so we'll go to the second one. Now we've got those glutes going, which is so important. Biggest muscle in the body. If it's not working, you're going to get overloading in your lower back. You're going to get issues later on. Okay, so the second one, we're going to do what we call a bridge. Back bridge. Bridge is one of the best core exercises. That being your abdominal region, your low back, your gluteus, and into the center of your spine. And we're going to actually add what we call rotator cuff, which is that shoulder stabilization area. So what's going to happen is I'm going to tuck my elbow in. I'm going to lift my bottom, and as I go up, I'm going to, what I call externally rotate my shoulder or my arm. And then come back in, down I go. Now, if you haven't exercised before, I recommend landing each time. Okay? Touching the bottom, up you come. Like so. If you're someone that is exercising, just keep it slightly above. So you've got stress on that muscle all the time. Like so. If you've got a shoulder injury, this is perfect because the elbow is tucked right in. It's close to the body, so it's when you start putting your arm away from your body and above your head, that's when you're going to cause problems, when you've got shoulder issues. Now, the variables with that are, big one. If you've got lower back problems, weak lower back, you've got overworking lower back, you've got hamstrings that are firing first, do not go past. See how I've got that big curve in my lower spine? That's going to cause problems. I'll bring it down just slightly lower and you'll see my back's flat. I can get away with that, that's fine. But someone's got lower back problems, they're going to come up just where it's flat only. So I'll do a couple more. And breathing out. So for someone who's got lower back problems, we go there. Someone's all good, we can come higher. Really important that your hips are straight. If you're getting cramp in your hamstring, a couple of things you can do is you can bring your feet out a bit further because it's bringing those feet in towards your bottom that flexes your knee more, that can contract it a bit more. But if you've got hamstrings firing first, that's what could happen. You could get that contraction in the hamstring first. So what we recommend with these, because of that heightened fight for flight we've got going on, is around 5 to 10. So if you're someone that's really got a lot of pain, we just want that movement there. It's not about getting really tired in exercise or fatigued or so forth. So we just want that movement. If we go, 5 reps, we're going to get that movement in there, but we're not going to cause that fight for flight and that pain response. And then it's demoralizing because they think, oh, damn, I don't want to do that anymore. So really, really important. Third one. Okay, so we've gone from our bum into our core. Once again, it's that abdominal region, not just through here. That's only one part of the core, what we call the rectus abdominis. We've got your gluteus. You've got your mid-back is where your core is. A lot of people forget that. Okay, lots of different variables on this. So what we do here is we lie flat. If your palms are down, you're going to take a lot less work on the neck. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to bring my shoulders up, my shoulders down, and I'm going to lift up and pull my arms back at the same time. Once again, shoulders up, shoulders down, breathing out. If I've got a neck issue, head down in line with my spine, shoulders up, shoulders down. I keep my eyes looking down, like so. If I've got a lumbar spine problem, watch your height. If I come up too high, I'm getting a massive curve in my lower back. That's going to cause problems. So just a little bit less height, like so. And you'll notice my legs, I'm keeping them down. If you're a beginner, that's what you need to do. If you want someone that's a bit stronger, you can lift those legs up. I'll bring myself forward a little bit so you can see if you're a little more advanced. You've got that lift. You can see what's called a seal. Hey, all right. Now, if I'm someone who's really got some real issues in my neck, lower back, I'm really, really skeptical, really anxious, okay? Even just doing this motion here and pulling your arms back without lifting your back is enough just to get a little bit of work in that mid-back region, which is incidentally probably one of the weakest areas that I see, and our physiotherapist upstairs sees is that mid-back region is so weak. Our thoracic spine is what we call it. Okay, so we're going to move into what we call a wood chop. We're going to come up again. And like I said, you might not have that ability to get up off the floor, so you go from your bed to standing up, wherever you can go from. All right, so what's going to happen here is you're going to get some form of weight. Could be a soup can, could be anything. You're going to get one leg in front of the other, like so. That's the more beginner way. And what happens here is I'm going to bring my left leg forward. My hips are straight, they've got to be straight. Going to chop from my right shoulder to my left hip, like so. Like so. If you've got lower back issues, just go diagonal. Try not to get any kind of rotation. You need that rotation coming from your mid-spine. If your mid-spine's weak and you're not used to that movement, you're going to get a rotation from the lumbar spine where you shouldn't get it from. Your lumbar spine should not turn. It should only be your mid to upper spine. All right. So if I'm someone who's a bit more advanced, I can go into what we call a passive lunge, which is like that, and then chopping towards that front knee. always shopping forwards that front knee. Right, so challenges your stability a bit, making sure your knee's nice and straight with your hip. It's not turning in, it's not bowing out. All those things are really, really important. If you're someone that's got a shoulder injury, okay, so keep the weight closer to your body when you're doing your chop. It's that bringing it out into abduction or out here in front of you that might cause a bit of pain, so you just keep it a bit closer. All right, we'll go on to the last one. Okay, this is for your knee tendons. It's for that we spoke about before on my site, was what we call the VMO, which is that muscle there on the inside of the thigh. Helps stabilize the knee, it helps extend the knee. It's connected to the tibia through here, so it's a real important area. Now, incidentally, if your glutes are not working 100%, you're putting stress on that knee, because part of the functions of the glutes is to stabilize that knee and stop it from collapsing inwards. All right, so we're going to go into what we call a reverse calf raise. You'll just see it from the bottom half here. If you've got a step, even better. Dumbbells to the sides, and just come up like that. Apologize for that light there. That's just a beautiful sun coming through in Hamilton. It's, getting on to 9 o'clock in the morning, so it's going to be pretty bright. So I figured this would be the best time to go. Where it gets too bright and the light gets all buggered up. Excuse my French. Okay, like so. So if you're on a box, you're going to get a little bit of tipping that way as well, and you'll have a lot more balance work being done there. All right. So that's that one there. So if you've got lumbar spine issues, one thing you want to watch for is when you're doing it not to push your bum out, because once again it's going to put that lumbar spine into what we call hip extension, lumbar extension. With some of the lower back problem, that's going to hurt. You might have ankle issues. So what we recommend is that lower rep. Once again, you maybe you only do 7 reps instead of 10 or 20. Always do that lower end, because like I said, it's that height and fight is right now. Everybody's in that space right now. We're at an unknown. We don't know what's going on. A lot of us aren't working for a week, for a month. We can't go to work. We're lucky as fitness professionals that we have this option where we can interact through online. Okay, so the program that I just did today, I'll go through that again. Just the exercises, what they're called. You'll be able to go and look at this video again and watch it through and take those exercises. So we had what we call the Y and U. Now these are the warm-ups. We have what we call a side sway. We do the butt extension against the wall. That's our warm-ups. Then we've got our side-lying leg lift from our knees. Okay, so then we want to do about 10 to 15 of those. I would recommend a maximum of 2 sets. If you're a beginner, doing 3 or 4 sets is just too much. You're probably going to take about 20 minutes doing this, and that's a good amount of time to get a little bit of conditioning on your body, but not overdoing it. Okay, so your bridge extension with your external rotation, you're looking at about, once again, 5 to 10. Depending on, once again, your pain threshold, where that's at, where your chronic pain is at. Then we've got your seals, that one there, around about 7 to 10. So if you've got lower back problems, do the 7, not the 10. your wood chops, pretty safe exercise, 7 to 10. If you're more advanced, you could do more, and that's fine. Okay, and your reverse calf raises, depending on your ankles and your balance and so forth, your anxiety and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a psychologist or anything, but these are the type of things we deal with every day in our facility, and we have been for years. Okay, so we know what works. We've got plenty of empathy and how pain is managed and how demoralizing it can be. So we go 7 to 10 reps of that as well. Now this can be done 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times would be great. In New Zealand right now, our cardiovascular program is sort of restricted to a couple of Ks, I think. Don't quote me on that, but you have to be close to your home. So a walk or riding your bike would be a nice little cardiovascular additive to what we're doing here. 2 to 3 times a week. If you're really wanting to get into it, you could do 4 times a week, but I certainly wouldn't do any more than that. All right, so hopefully this can help. We're already doing online clients. We're doing that before this happened. So get in touch with me. Message me if you, after the fact, if you want to come and join our client list, our really cool client list that we've got, and start getting rid of that pain, because that's what we specialize in. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Once again, let me know where you're watching from. See you later.